What's up guys, today we're going to be going over Tommy's Matchbook, which is the new exotic AR this season, which you get at rank 1 on the paid season pass, if not at rank 35. Looking at the exotic perk, sustain fire with this weapon overheats it, increasing damage but burning the user. Then its second perk, overheat damage is reduced while not aiming down sights. So in this video we will be breaking down how good it is in PvE and breaking down all the different things about this weapon and just be talking about if it's good or not. So let's go ahead and begin. First, looking at this weapon, it has a huge magazine, 100, which is huge for an AR. It's pretty much a Tommy gun, so that makes sense. And as you start to shoot the weapon, eventually it will overheat, which will damage you, but then also increase the damage output of the weapon. So the whole point of the weapon is to spray it like a Tommy gun and pretty much never let go of the trigger. Looking at the damage on Greg without the overheat exotic perk, it hits 439 on the body, then 656 on the head. Now we go ahead and overheat the weapon. The damage will go up to 870 on the body, then 1302 on the head. And once the weapon is overheated, that is what the damage will do. It does not ramp up or anything like that as you hold down the trigger, which is going to be exactly a 98.5% increase, so almost double damage, not quite, but pretty close. And the second main perk on this weapon says that if you're not ADSing while it's overheated, you do less damage, but as you see, I'm hip firing and it's doing the exact same damage, so I'm not quite sure if that's just like a glitch or I'm not doing it correct, but it doesn't appear to matter if you're ADS or not, and the damage is the exact same either way. It takes exactly 20 bullets to proc overheat, and once you proc it, you can just keep spraying, and it'll continuously tick down your health bar as you see right here until you get to red health. And once you're at red health, it will no longer do damage to you. The only way you can actually die with this weapon is if an enemy hits you. You cannot actually damage yourself enough to actually die. So since the entire damage of this weapon is tied behind the exotic perk and you want to be overheating at all times, if you want to play aggressively with this weapon, you need a way to get health back, and that's where Devour comes into play. It works really well with this weapon. Devour itself actually got a slight buff this season, which we'll probably talk about in a later video. And when you pair Devour with this weapon, it kind of gets rid of the fact that you have to be worrying about your health bar. Every time you get a kill, you'll get full health back, and you won't really have to worry about it. Another thing you can do on Warlock is use Karnstein armlets. Every time you get a melee kill, you get a chunk of health back instantly. Then it has a momentum-like effect where you get health back over time for the next 8 seconds, which is also very good and will help you not die. On Titan, you can also use Active More Rig, which will give you ammo back from reserves into the magazine as you shoot it, which means you'll be able to shoot this weapon for a very, very long time before you have to reload. Like, very, very long. I believe well over 200, probably closer to 250 bullets without having to reload with this weapon. And that's pretty much all there is to this weapon. If you guys play Destiny 1, it's almost like Touch of Malice, where you do damage to yourself, but you also get increased damage at the same time, but now in auto rifle form. And I love the idea of this weapon. It's really cool, really unique design, and honestly, it is pretty good. But there's a lot of really good, if not great, exotic primers in this game. For example, Huckleberry, Sunshot, Graviton Lance, and the list can continue. Those are 3 of my personal favorites for exotic primaries. You can even throw Risk Runner in that group if you want. And all those exotics, and probably even more, are also really good for ad-clear, really good for major damage, just like this weapon. But the difference is, those weapons don't damage yourself at the same time, so it's kind of hard to justify using this over some of those other picks. That doesn't mean it's necessarily bad, it's just that you can use a lot of other weapons that won't be damaging yourself at the same time, that are just as good, if not even better. My main issue with this weapon is not the actual design of the weapon or the perks itself. I just feel like ARs are still a little bit weak in this game and need a pretty good size PV damage buff, because I feel like overheat on this weapon is what makes it usable instead of what makes it good, if that makes any sense. But if ARs were good in the first place, then the overheat damage on top of that would make it outstanding. So to keep it short, overall opinions, I love this weapon. It is actually really good. It's just that there are a lot of other options in the game that are just as good, if not a little bit better, that don't damage yourself at the same time. So in terms of like meta pick, I cannot really see this being usable, but for just playing, having fun, it is a very, very good pick. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this weapon. I will have a bunch of videos this season. I'll probably be daily uploading for at least like the first month. At least that is the goal. There's gonna be all kinds of little things I can use for builds in the season, so there should be a lot of very interesting builds coming out. And right now I'm grinding my power level for trials, so once that settles down, I'll have more time to make those type of videos. Anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.